We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is the WGNS Action Line, talking with Rutherford County newsmakers about what matters most to you. Now, your host, Bart Walker.
Hey, good morning to you. Welcome into the Action Line from WGNS. This morning we are focusing on Rutherford County and our guest, our Rutherford County Mayor, Joe Carr. Hey, Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Bart. So the burning question this morning is, since we're focusing on Rutherford County this morning, and you're the Good Neighbor Station and have been the Good Neighbor Station, and you're the Good Neighbor Station host, and that makes me the Good Neighbor Station guest.
That's right.
Talking about Rutherford. What other county would we be talking about, Bart?
You're right. This is the county.
Happy Thanksgiving, Bart.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
This is absolutely my favorite holiday. Absolutely. I like it better than Christmas, quite honestly. I always have. I love it.
Now, is it true that your family serves only turkey and honey?
It is that there's an element of truth to that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
But, no, this is my favorite time of the year. Absolutely. The fall. The weather is cool and dry. I think it's going to be a little wet later this evening, but that's okay. But I just love the whole idea of giving thanks and being grateful, because, we talk about this all the time. We are so blessed. We are so blessed, and it's just such a privilege, and it's humbling to get to do what we get to do and live where we live and the people we are surrounded by. And, it's amazing.
We see the exploding population here, and we understand why.
We do. I mean, it's not hard to figure out, is it?
No, it's a wonderful place.
It is, and people have figured it out, and it's all across the country that people go, hey, that's a really good place to live and work, worship, raise a family. It's an amazing place, and you and I are blessed, Bart, to get to do what we get to do. We truly are. And,
very definitely.
Anyway, so enough of that. I think maybe I don't know. I like this time of year.
As you look back over the things that have happened in this particular year, are there some things that you're really proud of, and maybe a few things that you wish just had not happened?
Yeah, I mean, that is true for all of us, isn't it? I mean, and that, I think, boy, that's a great question, and because I'm a pretty reflective person, and I try to be very, very self-aware. But yeah, you're constantly doing your inventory as to, what you accomplished, what you're proud of. But it gets pretty sobering pretty quick when you realize the missed opportunities and the things that you did that you wish you hadn't done, and the regrets. And anybody who says that they don't have any regrets, or they don't have missed opportunities, or wouldn't do something differently, isn't doing anything. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that, but not so much of it that it distorts, the accomplishments that we have, and even more importantly, it distorts the desire for me to keep pushing forward and doing better and being a better person, being a better husband, a better father, a better grandfather, a better mayor, a better friend, a better neighbor. And so those are the things that motivate me. And so it's a mixed bag, but that's I think that's why, in large part, in addition to the turkey and the dressing and all the food that we get to eat, that's why I like this time of year. It truly is a pause for reflection. And how can I be a better everything?
And is there anything in particular that you wish had gone different for the county this past year?
Yeah. And it's it's not to get too far off into the weeds. I wish my relationship as mayor was better with the county commission. It's something that I struggle with on a daily basis, and when I come to work, it's at the top of the list, and I'm not sure. As we reflect on the year and the previous years, it's something that I generally struggle with. I'm not sure. Well, I do have some ideas about what the motivations are regarding that struggle, and there's some on the part of some there's actual enmity, and I hate that because I do believe, for the most part, the individual members of the county commission want what's best for the county and put what's best to the county above their own personal interests. But we're not always successful at doing that, and to the degree that we're not, we find ourselves, quite honestly, not being the best we are, not being the best we can be. And so that is a constant struggle for me, and it's something I take real seriously. And but I've come to the conclusion after almost 2.5 years in office, it doesn't matter how hard I try, or how sincere my efforts, or what my motives are. Others are going to have different agendas, and sometimes those differing agendas are in conflict with each other, and you just have to be resolved that that's the way it's going to be until the agendas line up.
What do you think in the coming year? Is there any particular issue that is before us as a county that offers you a great opportunity to bring the people together, to bring the commission together?
I think there are a number of opportunities, yes. And that, boy, you're on your game today. Holy cow. Right out of the gate, listeners, Bart Walker's bringing the heat. I think there are a number of opportunities. I mean, like the Forensic Center should be able to bring us together. Plan Rutherford. I know that Chairman Pettis Reed and Chairman Jeff Phillips are passionate about and have been for years. That has great opportunity to bring us together. And when I say us, Bart, just to define the us is not just the mayor and the county commission, which is very, very important. But the us is Rutherford County, the municipalities, all of the citizens together. Because the reason people come here, like we talked about on the very front end, was because people see, despite our differences, which there are some, and despite the competing agendas, which there are no doubt, there are competing agendas, and some of those agendas are quite self-serving. But through all of that, there is still a great deal of harmony within this community that continues to attract people. And so the opportunities that we have to move forward and to build on our successes and overcome the obstacles that competing agendas constantly throw up at us are the Forensic Center, Plan Rutherford, how we're going to continue to take care of our county employees with a good and competitive compensation package that fits in with an overall budget that is fiscally conservative, that is appropriate for the community, and that limits the need to raising taxes. And so those kinds of things, I think, provide great opportunity for the county to move forward, and that's to work together.
Let's take a phone call. Good morning. You're on WGNS with our County Mayor, Joe Carr. How are you today?
Yeah. Briefly describe this new program y'all got about controlling the growth of Rutherford County. It must be working because it's got all the realtors in a panic. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
I appreciate the call. Yeah, so Plan Rutherford is it's an effort on the part of the leadership to provide structure as to how we want to manage the growth of this county. As the caller probably already knows, and your listeners know, Bart, because we've talked about it numerous times, Rutherford County is the fastest growing county in the state and the 42nd fastest growing county in the country. And with that growth comes great opportunity, but also tremendous responsibility. And that growth you see everywhere. You see it in the form of, quite honestly, the challenges that are created in a Rutherford County school system that has over 52,000 students. When you add the 52,000 K through 12 students in the Rutherford County system, and you add the 11,000 in the Murfreesboro system, we're talking 63,000 students. Those 63,000 students make it the third largest K through 12 school system when you combine them in the state, only behind Davidson County and Shelby County. And so that creates tremendous challenges. the traffic, the congestion, just the urban sprawl, the eating up of the constant appetite for more land for development. And so we understand, and this is what I was referring to earlier with Chairman Phillips and Chairman Reed. So about 2.5 years ago, we embarked with the Greater Nashville Regional Council, and we asked them to help put together a study and a plan so Rutherford County leadership could say, here's who we want to be, and here's where we want to go as it relates to the growth, the type of growth, where that growth is going to take place, and how we can mitigate the unintended consequences or negative effects of that growth. And so what you're seeing is the realtors and the home builders, I think, to a certain extent, push back on that Rutherford County plan. It's unfortunate. I don't think they completely understand the plan. And I want to reiterate this final point. The plan right now is only in draft form. It is not in its final form. The draft plan will go before the Planning Commission for public hearings on at least once, if not a couple of occasions, beginning the first of the year. After it goes to the Planning Commission, it still is in draft form. Then it goes to the County Commission, where there will be further public discussion, debate, and then voted on. So we got a little ways to go yet. I really appreciate the caller calling and inquiring about it, because if you're concerned about it and you want your voice to be heard, now is an excellent time to get involved in understanding what the plan is. Call my office. Please call your county commissioner and just let us know what your thoughts are.
Tell us a little more about Commissioner Harris's proposal for the one-time revenue for the reoccurring expenses.
So I think what Commissioner Harris was talking about on not your radio program, but another radio program, I believe what he was saying, and I didn't hear all of it, but as I understood his proposal, he wanted to give county employees, and in particular first responders or public safety officials, a big raise. And I understand the need for that. That is something that my office, along with Sheriff Fitzhugh, Human Resources Director Sonia Stevenson, Finance Director Michael Smith, and all the public safety directors work on constantly, and we're working on it now. But what he was saying is we can afford to give a raise because we have a large fund balance. In particular, he believes and understands that we're going to use a portion of that fund balance to pay for the forensic center, which is an accurate statement, because we won't have to borrow the money and we won't have to raise property taxes because we've done an excellent job of managing the county's finances. And so his idea was, let's go to that fund balance, that one-time money, to pay for a reoccurring expense, which is salaries. And that is just to be blunt, that is a horrible idea. A basic accounting principle is you never use one-time money or revenue to pay for a reoccurring expense, because once the one-time money is gone, you haven't identified the reoccurring revenue to pay for the continuing effects of the reoccurring expense. That is essentially how we got to a $64 million deficit prior to my taking office, was using one-time money for a reoccurring expense, and I'm adamantly opposed to that. I will say this, and I firmly believe this: making sure that our public safety officials are adequately compensated, like all of our county employees, is a top priority of mine. It always is. It always has been. Just for a little context, in the last 3 years, we have given Rutherford County employees the equivalent of a 25 to 30% raise. And that is significant. Now, we were seriously behind, and we still got a little bit of work to do to catch up to the marketplace with regard to adequately compensating our employees. But the county commission and the mayor's office has made significant progress. We still got some work to do, but I am not for using one-time money in any situation unless it is a dire emergency for dealing with a reoccurring expense. And so I believe in the coming budget year, and it's still a little early yet. We don't tend to start talking about budget till March or April. But I believe that if everything pans out like we expect with regard to the economy, property tax revenue, sales tax revenue, we will be able to provide our employees an accurate cost of living adjustment and then true up those particular jobs that need to be a little more competitive, and we'll be able to do that with reoccurring revenue without having to go into our one-time fund balance.
A listener wants us to go back and sort of explain a little more about the Forensic Center, why we need it, and how we can get people together. It seems like the leaders in the community are not together on this issue.
No, they're not. I would say the county commission is pretty much evenly divided on this issue. And to be candid, I've got a lot of work to do to show them and demonstrate the need. So the Forensic Center is where the primary need for a Forensic Center is for autopsies. So in the state of Tennessee, we are required by statute that anytime there is a suspicious cause of death or a homicide or like a suicide or a suicide or any kind of suspicious death, we're required to have an autopsy performed on that body. That is a law. That is the law. As a result of our population of 380,000, we perform about 350, 360 autopsies a year. Each one of those autopsies we have to send to Nashville. Nashville does autopsies in addition to Rutherford County and Davidson County, does autopsies for over 60 other counties. Nashville-Davidson County does 2/3 of all the autopsies in the state of Tennessee. There are currently 5 forensic centers in the state of Tennessee. One in Memphis, one in Nashville, one in Chattanooga, one in Knoxville, and one in East Tennessee, Bristol. There hasn't been a new forensic center built in Tennessee in over 20 years. And so with the growth that we have received and with the fact that the forensic center in Nashville is horribly overburdened. I mean, we've got some serious quality control issues. Our detectives and our homicide the homicide detectives are not getting quick turnarounds. It's creating a crisis internally within law enforcement, and also it's creating a crisis with a lot of family members because they can't get their loved ones back to bring closure in the form of a burial. The worst part about this is that Rutherford County literally has no plan B. If the Forensic Center in Nashville were, for whatever reason, decide they can no longer accept and do the Rutherford County autopsies, we have nowhere to go. Literally. There is no capacity in Memphis. There is no capacity in Hamilton County or Chattanooga. Knox County has said, we're not going to take we cannot absorb 350 autopsies, and East Tennessee is 6-hour drive, and so the cost of doing this is going to be exorbitant. With our own forensic center, we will not only reduce the cost of our own autopsy. Each autopsy is $2,500 a piece, but we will also be available to surrounding counties to bring their autopsies here. So quite honestly, this would actually reduce the cost of doing autopsies in Rutherford County by about $500,000 a year. So investing in a forensic center actually reduces the ongoing recurring costs associated with the requirement for us to do autopsies.
It sounds like the majority of our needs and our weaknesses are in some form of emergency services, whether
Yes.
it be more pay for the law enforcement agencies, fire department, ambulance, or whether it's a forensic center.
Yeah, that's an absolutely true statement, and it's the thing that the people in a forensic center is an emergency service. It has to do with the statutory requirement that this county has to meet in performing autopsies in the case of a suspicious death. We have to do that. How do we then do that? What is the most cost-effective way to do that meets the public safety need. There is no question a forensic center does that. The financial piece is there, the health need is there, the public safety need is there. But you're absolutely right, Bart. When we going back to Plan Rutherford and infrastructure includes public safety in a very big way. When you go from 275,000 people to 400,000 people in a 10-year span, that doesn't put just a strain on infrastructure and schools and roads. It puts a real strain on public safety, because it's not an area that you just service, but it's the population that you service. And a response time is critical in so many instances when it comes to fire, EMS, and law enforcement.
And going back to your areas where there are already these forensic centers, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Bristol. Now, Bristol is smaller than
it
us.
is, and they have it is, and their forensic centers tied to East Tennessee University, East Tennessee University. So there's a tie there. But the interesting thing is, if you look at Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville, and Memphis, they're the 4 largest counties in the state.
Well,
not anymore. Rutherford County is, if not larger than Hamilton County, will be very, very soon. And yet we're still sending this kind of service to Nashville, and Nashville no longer has the bandwidth. They don't have the capacity. And there's a genuine concern in the emergency medical services community, especially with my director, Brian Gaither, that if for whatever reason Nashville needs to cut a county out to service their bodies first, they're going to cut Rutherford County because it's the easiest thing to do. And now what are we going to do? We don't have a plan B. I'm telling you, it's irresponsible for the leadership of this county to continue to stick their head in the sand on this. And the thing is we can build this forensic center without borrowing the money and without raising property taxes. So why wouldn't we do it?
Now, Bristol is known as the Tri-Cities.
Yes,
Bristol,
sir.
Kingsport, and
Johnson City.
Johnson City.
Yes,
okay.
sir. That's correct.
So they're all sharing the growth together.
That's correct.
None of them are huge in their own selves.
No.
But they're all sharing.
It's kind of like a mini metro area.
Yeah. With us, we have a huge population here in Rutherford County, but we also have adjacent counties that are growing extremely well too. Since Bristol shares that expense, would the adjacent counties with Rutherford share our expense?
No question about it. I've already reached out to a number of county mayors, and they said absolutely we would rather come to Rutherford County. It's closer. It would be the throughput for, again, getting the results back would be quicker, and so we have no doubt that Rutherford County would be an attractive place for as many as a dozen counties in middle, southeast, middle Tennessee to come here. I mean, why would you drive through Rutherford County to go to Nashville if you're in Coffee County or Warren County or Bedford County or Grundy County or Franklin County? And you see what I'm saying? So why would you drive through Rutherford County to go to Nashville? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. It's not cost effective.
Well, you have that on your plate now. We're going to take a small break. When we come back, we will continue to address this issue. Perhaps you have your 2 cents that you'd like to share. It's important for everyone to voice your opinion, because that's what this show does. It listens to you. Our number, 615-893-1450. Our guest this morning, Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr. We'll be right back.
This is MTSU President Sidney McPhee. You're listening to WGNS, your local connection to Blue Raider Athletics.
WGNS AM, FM, online.
Hi, this is Peter Demas. One of the things that we've done years ago is we being able to do our orders, like our pastas and many other items that we used to be able to put them in large pans, and now we have a catering team that will even deliver it to your home. We can drop it off for you, set it up, or they can come in and pick it up. Look up our catering menu on www.demasrestaurants.com. This is Peter Demas at Demas's Restaurant. 1115 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
Hi, this is Dave Kivanemi at Music World and Drummer's Den, 2762 South Church Street in Murfreesboro. We're across from Indian Hills Golf Course. Come out and see us for all of your music needs. We've got guitars, pianos, amps, drums, PA equipment, rentals, lessons, most anything you can think of in the music genre. Come see us at Music World and Drummer's Den on South Church. We're across from Indian Hills Golf Course.
We're powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE is proud to serve this incredible community and is thankful for you, a trusted member. May your Thanksgiving be full of blessings and joy. Happy Thanksgiving from MTE.
Good morning. They moved the damaged vehicles over to the side involved in this crash on 24 westbound at Harding Place. Again, it's not that bad. It's moving up through here, actually, coming up through Antioch. It's been kind of quiet, actually, surprisingly quiet on 24 coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through Antioch. It's trying to improve a bit from some wrecks we had earlier out in Montgomery County, Clarksville area. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialists. Just check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I'm a single mom, and as you can imagine, it's a fight sometimes just to get out the door. But when I need new tires or something's wrong with my car, I need to head to someone I can trust. I go to Tire World.
Tire World, we keep your family rolling.
Tire World, locally owned and operated.
Don't throw away old flags. WGNS retires old glory with respect. Bring those tattered Bibles here, too. We're more than talk.
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. To each and every one of you, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And it's great to be able to live in Rutherford County, and so much to be thankful for.
It is. And, you know, with all of the challenges that we talk about, I don't want the challenges or even the obstacles to overshadow just a tremendous opportunity. I'm telling you, Bart, with all the challenges and the problems that we have, you know, there are other counties, there are a lot of other counties, vast majority of counties in this state that would love to trade places with us. So we, regardless of the outcome of any of these issues, this county is, and the leadership of this county is committed to being overcomers and quite honestly, you know, as it relates to the Forensic Center and the need for that and the division and the county commission on that issue, or if whether it's Plan Rutherford or how do we fund schools, where's the next school, how do we make sure that our road network is adequate for the traffic, and how do we make sure that we properly fund and compensate all our employees, but in particular our public safety employees. With all that said, the greatest challenge, the absolute greatest challenge we have, is making sure we don't squander the opportunity we have. That is the greatest challenge. We have been given a feast by God Almighty and the wisdom of our founding fathers, that we get to sit at a table, a banquet table, every single day, with the freedoms and the liberties and the opportunities. I mean, this is the greatest country on the planet. This is the greatest state in the greatest country, and this is the greatest county in the greatest state in the greatest country. And you couldn't be in a better place than where you're at right now if you're in Rutherford County.
Absolutely.
Was that soupy enough? I mean, I really believe that. I honestly really believe that. And,
I do too.
And I want to just say this. I absolutely love working with the 4 city mayors and their alderman councils. They are fantastic for this county to work with. And I know in the past there has been a little disharmony, but that, for my part, that doesn't exist anymore. And while we, Mayor McFarland or Mayor Reed or Mayor Cole or Mayor Lehman and I may disagree on a topic or an issue or how to approach a problem, there is no question the 5 of us are all joined at the hip at making sure that what's good for Smyrna, Laverne, Murfreesboro, and Eagleville and is good for the county and vice versa. We do a good job with that. Now,
I've been thinking about something, and it had concerned me all along, and during the break, you brought up something that I'd never thought about. We were always discussing whether Rutherford County or Hamilton County is the larger. And this is an important issue, really, because it goes down to just more than bragging rights of who has the most people. It boils down to state funding.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
And I think it's concerning and questioning to people how you and others use the number of students attending Rutherford County and Murfreesboro city schools. You add them up, and it's larger than that in Hamilton County.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because of the demographics. Rutherford County is the fastest growing county in the state. We've said that. One of the fastest in the country. We've said that. But the question you got to ask is, well, if it's the fastest growing, who's moving here? Well, who's moving here are young people, young married couples who either want to start a family or who already have a family with school-aged children. I mean, and that is indicated by the fact that our schools are the fastest growing schools in the state. I mean, we're growing by anywhere between 1,200 and 1,800 new students every year. Now, I know that the adults in our community and the water create a rather prolific idea of procreation. We are rather prolific in that regard. That's a good thing. I believe in large, strong families. I'm a proponent. But that's not the reason. The reason is that people from across the country have identified Rutherford County, young married couples with small children, says, let's go there. It's a good place to work. It's a great place to educate my kids. It's a great place to worship and raise a family. And that's what they're doing. So you're getting that particular demographic of 30s and 40s coming here to do that.
We have another comment from a listener, and they said they haven't heard an update lately on the Middle Point landfill, and they say they can see everybody's side in this. They say they can see Middle Point side. They have to run it like a business. They can see the county side. They can see the city. How is it standing? Is there ever going to be something worked out?
So the answer to the question is what the worked out is. Let me just say this, that Middle Point is owned by Republic Services, which is a private corporation, and they are regulated by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, or TDEC. TDEC gave Republic at Middle Point and Walter Hill a permit to dispose of trash for commercial purposes. In other words, it's a private enterprise. They make money. That's how they make money, is by disposing of trash. About over half of the trash that comes into Middle Point is from Davidson County, because Republic has a contract with Davidson County to bring their trash to Rutherford County. At a certain point, Middle Point landfill is going to be full. It's just the TDEC's not going to let them just continue to bring trash beyond beyond its capacity. We believe that capacity for being full is within a couple of years. Once it's full, then Middle Point will have to close unless they get an expansion. The only way they can expand is if they buy the old Rutherford County landfill. And if they were able to do that, then they would be able to expand and continue to operate for the next 30 to 50 years, which means Davidson County and other counties would then continue to bring their trash here. I am opposed to that, period. They have been here since the early to mid 90s, or even maybe the late 80s, and it's time that other counties like Davidson County found other solutions for dealing with their trash other than bringing it to Rutherford County. And so what Rutherford County has said, in anticipation of the closure of Middle Point landfill, we've said for Rutherford County trash that is through the convenience centers and through our public schools, and those private haulers that want to bring it here, we are building a transfer station. So that trash then, convenience center, schools, Murfreesboro potentially, and the private haulers that want to come here will take it to our transfer station, and then we will truck it out to another location outside the county in anticipation of Middle Point closing.
Let's take a phone call. Good morning. You're on WGNS with Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr.
Good morning, and Joe, this is Zane Cantrell. I'm wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving and a very pressing operation that's coming up this Monday. Monday is the Rutherford County Beekeepers Association meeting, which is always the first Monday of the month. And we want to remind you to be there. We've got to talk about honeybees.
So this, for the listeners who don't know, now we got to stay on the phone, Zane, because for the listeners who don't know, Zane Cantrell is the preeminent expert in beekeeping, not just in Rutherford County, but probably the state of Tennessee. He has achieved a status, Bart, reserved for deity and saints. Okay, I'm just telling you, that's like, I think we just need to call him Saint Zane because he's that good. Now, and I'm picking at him a little bit because I love Zane, and I love what he's done for the beekeeping community for years and years and years. He's taught me so much. But Zane is also the chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and so he has been a public servant in this community for years, and he is exactly the kind of leadership that this county has had that's got us to this place where we have so many opportunities. So, Zane, I'm picking at you a little bit. Thanks for the call in, and I really appreciate the reminder. I will get it on my schedule, brother. I will come if you promise not to harass me publicly like I'm doing you now.
Well, we won't, and this is not really a meeting where we do a lot of talking. We're going to do a lot of eating. This will be a good time for us to get together and have a meal together and just talk about general things in beekeeping. And I'll remind everyone, Joe Carr is also one of the better beekeepers of Rutherford County. He's running about 30 hives, which is commendable for him to be able to keep that many and keep them alive. Joe, keep up the good work.
Thank you, Zane. We will see you Monday. And as always, if I can help you, please let me know. Enjoy talking to you. Have a great week. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Zane Cantrell there. We will be back in just a moment. Stay right here.
I am Charlotte Gardner. I've lived at Adams Place for 3 years.
Do you have entertainment?
3 times a week. There's always entertainment. Come on. You can find bridge partners. You can find card game partners. And Mahjong is a very popular game. You never lack for something to do. Never.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111.
Adams Place on Memorial across from Walmart.
We're excited to announce that Capstar Bank is now officially a division of Old National Bank. All those friends you've made while banking here over the years, well, they're still there. And so are the delicious, warm, homemade cookies.
In Murfreesboro at 2230 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Everything you enjoyed at Capstar, still there at Old National Bank. Old National Bank, ready to serve you.
Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Come to downtown Murfreesboro and Holden Hardware to shop for Christmas. New for this year, we have the Sock Monkey hats along with snowboarding and bomber hats in a variety of colors. For children, we have the wood and metal radial flyer wagons, tricycles, and roadsters. We carry case, Schrade, Bear, and German-made Boker pocket knives. And for the hopeful children of all ages, we carry a wide variety of sleds. This is Raleigh Holden Jr. Come and shop for Christmas at Holden Hardware.
Look for partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area for this afternoon with highs in the lower 60s. Then rain likely for tonight, dropping back to 43. I'm meteorologist Michael Carr on News Radio WGNS. Currently 35 degrees.
Hi, this is Taylor at Bell Jewelers. Bell Jewelers is having their Black Friday week special through November 30th. Select items are marked down, but the biggest special we have going on is that you get a free gift with purchase if you spend $2.99 or more. So come visit us at Bell Jewelers. Bell Jewelers is having their Black Friday week special through November 30th.
Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots.
We're News Radio WGNS 100.5, 101.9, 1450. Online and on your phone at WGNSradio.com.
We are back, and we're focused on Rutherford County this morning, our final segment. So if you have your 2 cents you want to get in this morning, 615-893-1450. Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr is our guest this morning. And Joe, good to have you with us again.
I always enjoy this. We don't do it often enough. Once a month isn't enough, Bart. And that may be enough for the listeners, but I enjoy spending time with you.
I enjoy this conversation because I think we all have a passion for Rutherford County.
We do. I don't get emotional about much stuff, but I do get emotional about this. And just as a side note, my perspective changed. I had a little bit of a paradigm shift when I ran for the United States Senate, because I got to visit. I'd already been all over the United States and all over the world, but I hadn't been all over Tennessee. And when I ran for the U.S. Senate in 2014, as some of the listeners may remember, I visited every single county. Every one of them. I traveled to every one. I drove into every single county, and that was just an eye-opening experience to me, because I'm a very, very analytical person anyway, and I'm just doing this comparative analysis between Rutherford County and Lake County, or Rutherford County and Polk County, or Rutherford County and Sullivan County, or whatever the counties are. I'm always doing this comparative analysis, and I'm going, Lord Jesus, how honored I am and blessed that you settled me here. And then when I became mayor, it took on another whole new meaning. I got to interact with a lot more people, and especially the people that work for this county and work for the cities. And I got to interact with the leadership, our state delegation that does a phenomenal job, the county commission that does a phenomenal job, the aldermen, the city council members, the mayors, the directors, the workers. I mean, just everybody up and down this community. And so I've had an incredible appreciation for this community and the people in it.
We only have a few minutes left in our broadcast this morning, so if you have a question or a comment you'd like to make, 615-893-1450, 615-893-1450. And as we look toward the new year, this present year, you've opened and redone a lot of our emergency systems, the centers, which are serving as a community focal point.
Yeah, we've got the last one under construction in Plainview, out there at the Plainview School in Christiana. So it's currently under construction, and it'll be open by probably July or August of next year.
Now, of course, you say that's the last one.
Well,
it's not.
No,
going to be.
Well, it's the last one for the immediate future. So it's the last one that we've got for plans of construction. We do need to put a new EMS center out there on Weekly Lane. We hope to put that next to the Forensic Center. I will be bringing that proposal to the County Commission very, very shortly for design and engineering for a new EMS center to help service Smyrna and Laverne. So we're going to do that very soon.
And Laverne is growing in leaps and bounds. We don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we don't. And you know what? Mayor Cole and Vice Mayor Steve Noe, they do a great job. And again, we just have a really good relationship with them. And they don't. We don't pick up the phone and call each other and tell each other what to do. It's kind of like we have such a good relationship. If they need something from the county, we give it. As an example, up there in Laverne, we've got a convenience center that's on city property. It's been there for several years, probably 30 years. And Mayor Cole reached out and said, "Hey, we'd really like to have that property back to expand for maybe parks and recreation or something like that. Can you help us relocate the convenience center?" We said, sure. So we're relocating the center, and we're using that opportunity to make that convenience center larger and a little more safer, and that has greater capacity for serving the residents of Laverne. So it's that kind of cooperation that's important. We're doing an expansion of Laverne High School. We're going to go to bond for about $40 million to expand the Laverne High School, which is in desperate need. That's a great thing. So Laverne, we don't talk about it as much, but we should, and that's my fault. I'll take ownership of that, because Laverne is a absolute vital part of this Rutherford County community.
I think what people don't realize, I know it didn't seem that long ago that, you'd look at Rutherford County, and we had about 40,000 people here. I mean, that wasn't that far back.
We're telling our age a little bit, Bart.
It could be. But now, Laverne has about 40,000 people.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to do a shameless plug for Smyrna and Murfreesboro. They have a special census going on, and please, if you live in Smyrna or Murfreesboro, please go and respond to the census. It means a whole lot to those municipalities in the form of additional revenue. And I just want to remind, even though it doesn't directly benefit Rutherford County, those and outside the city limits, literally what is good for Smyrna and Murfreesboro and Laverne and Eagleville is good for the county. So if you live in Smyrna and Murfreesboro, please fill out those special census forms. It makes a huge difference.
Very definitely. Now, how does Rutherford County? I'm sure it's based on population, but don't the municipalities figure in on the total population?
They figure in on the total population of the county, but with regard to the census, this is money set aside for the cities regarding their population. And so they're undertaking a special census because of their growth that they believe will allow them to receive more federal fund dollars through the state. Why that's important to the county, Laverne and Eagleville, that are not doing special census, is the fact that this additional money will allow Smyrna and Murfreesboro to provide additional services. And anytime you provide additional services to any Rutherford County resident, I don't care if you're in the city or outside the city, it's a good thing. So, again, this is one of these things. What's good for the city is good for the county.
As you look ahead, we have about 30 seconds left. What do you think is our biggest need for Rutherford County in this new year?
This is going to sound hokey. It even sounds hokey to me, but to appreciate the opportunity that we have and the urgent need we all have to work together, be patient, understand that your perspective isn't the only perspective, and that while vigorous debate is healthy, let's not personalize it. Let's not be offended by somebody else's opinion, but let's embrace it as an opportunity to learn and give thanks to God Almighty for the great opportunity we have to do that.
Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr, our guest this morning, right here on WGNS Murfreesboro. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bart. You have a blessed day and a happy Thanksgiving to all your listeners.